I'm about to start a series of videos about Zionism. Specifically, Zionism that has affected North America, the United States of America. But before I do, I want to make it clear where I stand on this issue. I am not anti-Semitic, a term which I abhor just for its variant, fraudulent tendencies. I'm not against the Jewish race by any means, but I am against the savage results of Zionism, probably in its full scope. There's so many things that have happened that have been so tragic as a result of tragic realities for the Jewish people. And that's the full tragedy of it. And I want it known that I am very well educated on the history and reasons. It is just such an unfortunate reality that ignorance of the reasons and a lack of sympathy on both sides of the issue have resulted in the current undercurrented war that is going on in the world, all over the world, as a result of this misunderstanding. People think 1492 is the year the West was discovered. That's the big year, the beginning of what we call the modern age. It is also the year of the ALHAMBRA Decree. Others call that the Great Expulsion. It's a document drawn up by Ferdinand and Isabella of Spain, which said that all inhabitants of Iberian Spain had to leave if they were Jewish. They had 3 to 4 months to go. They could take their possessions with them, but they had to leave behind all their precious gems and minted money. Of course, the hypocrisy of it. They said they were doing this in religious fervor to retain their Christian strength. As a result of harnessed Christian strength, they had beaten away the Muslim population for the last time. Hardly anybody realizes that Spain was pretty much a Muslim country until the late 15th century. There's so much that resulted from that. The Jews, by the hundreds of thousands of them, just went everywhere. And a lot of them came to America as called conversos, Moranos. They just made this decision that they had to live a life of deceit and say that they were Catholics while secretly practicing Judaism. Now, can you imagine living a life like that? All of this that anti-Semitics rant about today has been the gradual result of really horrible things that have been done to the Jewish people for the last 500 years. It's not that bad now, but what you complain about, there was a reason for it. It was a build, and it's very complex, and it took root in countries you wouldn't think. You wouldn't think of the Jewish reality of the Netherlands, the Jewish reality of England, France, and the United States, and Central and South America. Because they would go by Christian names. In the history, you can't really tell that they're Jewish leaders and Jewish criminals who are working subversive lines of commerce to try to get some footing for their people. It's brilliant, actually, what they achieved. But The split in 1492 is very significant, and it happened because of the Alhambra Decree. That was really the last time a major edict was put forward by a monarch. Really strong, brilliant, accomplished Jewish leaders of commerce said enough is enough. They had taken it for over 1,000 years. And you can point to moments in Russia and Eastern Europe of the 18th, 19th century that began Zionism. That's not the truth at all. It started way before. The Zionism that's been public with the move towards the creation of the State of Israel 100 years ago, that was not a brand new thing. It was a new thing to common knowledge. But it was a secret that was building from 1492. So, I wanted to make this video just to lay the groundwork that I am not ignorant to the major events that caused the events that I would complain about. And I would ask any of you that hate the Jewish people out of true hatred to please reconsider, leaving your comments, your hateful words. I understand what it is to be frustrated with the banking world and the deception of the entertainment world. There's probably nothing I'm more serious about or close to hatred about. The big wake-up that most Americans have about the control behind the government of the United States and where it's rooted. But I also want it known that I respect and understand the reasons for it, and I'm going to talk about those reasons. I don't deal in disinformation. I fight disinformation. But there's two sides to every story, as any good journalist is well aware. And I have a journalism degree. I'm very good at portraying both sides of an important issue. So I am going to do this now. This topic that is so hard for even a university professor, probably the most hard for a university professor, because if they tell the truth about these subversive modes of commerce, they'll get fired. They have to give you the PC story, the kosher version, which is as big of a crime as any pirate ship of the Caribbean. That edict of expulsion, the Alhambra Decree, had 50,000 Jews eating their money, swallowing gold coins and diamonds, because telling people to leave their home for another country with no money is surefire suicide. And then there were the pirates that captured the fleeing Jews and ripped open their stomachs to get their money. Can you imagine that? Having your children eat money and then watching some pirate rip your child's stomach open to get gold coins. That happened. And they have not forgotten that. Alright? They have a secret pact of remembrance. And that is the beginning of Zionism that you complain about. But if you really read about it, you will respect and even come close to appreciating the loyalty that they've had for each other in the quest of their survival. They are truly the only group of people in the modern history of mankind that has ever achieved that kind of solidarity. Solidarity is the only way any nation can survive. The only way. Those people deserve phenomenal respect.